Hey, this is Pastor Mike, and welcome to Perkstream for June 7, 2023. We can be restored to the mission. Hey, welcome to Perkstream. Thanks for joining me today. Now, I'm hoping that you're having a good week, and I don't want to ruin it with this, but imagine for a moment that you make a mistake at work that you don't think you'll be able to recover from. In fact, you're pretty sure you're going to be fired. But imagine that you have a wise boss and she sees your potential and she sees your past and she sees the good things you've done for the company and she's willing to work with you. Sure, you have some uncomfortable conversations dealing with this mistake that you have made, but she wants you to be able to finish the task that you have and go on to greater things because she sees the potential and she knows that this mistake, this failure was not fatal. Well, I'm thinking that that must be something like what Peter felt when he was with the Lord at that breakfast on the beach in John chapter 21. And as he is sitting there, Jesus looks at him and says, "Peter, do you love me?" And Peter says, "Of course, you know I love you." And that happens two more times. So, total of three times, Jesus wants to know. But Jesus isn't doing this just to restore Peter. This is not, as some call it, the reinstatement of Peter. This isn't Jesus just saying, "Good for you, Peter, you're back on the team." Rather, this is Jesus saying, "I'm glad you love me. Now go do what I've called you to do. Feed my sheep, keep my sheep, feed my lambs." Jesus had a task for him and he wanted him to fulfill it, but he had to have that moment of restoration with Jesus. In fact, for all the bravado that he spoke of before the Last Supper, Jesus needed him to know that the things that you promised at the Last Supper, that you would die the way I did, well, that's going to happen to you. Just follow me. Keep following me, and I will help you stand. And church tradition tells us that Peter was crucified upside down. Now, he was crucified in keeping with the Lord's word, but he didn't feel that he was worthy to be crucified the way Jesus was. So he said, "Crucify me upside down." And thus he followed through on the commitment to follow Jesus all the way, even to the giving of his life. I've spoken with some people who don't feel like they can ever be restored. In fact, sometimes it's in the context of a loved one who has died that they think that person was a better person. Why did they have to go first? Why am I still around? God could use them more than they can use me. And here's what I want to be able to say. Nobody is so good that they don't need God's grace, and nobody is so bad that they're beyond God's grace. It is Jesus who qualifies his people, and Jesus doesn't qualify us based on our personality and our characteristic or our goodness and righteousness. He qualifies us based on his calling of us. He sees in us what he needs, and he gives us what we lack. And so Jesus is the one that makes us able. It's not about us, it's about him. We must not allow our past mistakes to keep us from coming to Jesus. This is where we need to be very much in tune with the fact that Jesus can do more through us than we ever hoped or imagined because he's the one that's going to do it in us. So, how will you come to Jesus today? You could come as somebody who has a lot of baggage and let him restore you and make you able to stand. If you happen to be coming with a great deal of self-confidence, this is a great place to let that go and let your confidence in Jesus guide you into the next thing he has for you. It's not going to be our confidence, and it's not going to be our poor image of ourselves that's going to keep us from being used by Jesus. So is there fear? Is there doubt? Is there anxiety? Is there guilt or sin that's keeping you from feeling like you can be used by the Lord? Jesus is ready to restore you and bring you back into the mission of being his light and life in the world. So Jesus wants you to know that if you love him and you're willing to work in his way, he has something for you and he's ready to work in you. I'm glad to know that if I stumble, that Jesus doesn't just help me to get up. He helps me to stand when I have stumbled. He is there to help any of us who feel like we just don't matter anymore. We just can't do it. We'll just do enough. He's saying, "No, I can do more through you than you ever hoped or imagined. Trust me. Do you love me? I have a work for you to do." So I hope that you'll take that and you'll live into it this week. God bless you as we all rise up and know that even if we fall, He's able to restore us to the mission and give us work to do that will bring honor to His name. God bless you. Take care.